Hi, everybody, it's Mark again. And today we're going to talk about goodwill and maybe a little bit about my background politically and maybe a few lessons we can learn from that or take away from it. So, I alluded to it in one of my early videos. Hi, I'm Mark, that one. That I was raised in a really conservative household. My dad was a member of the John Birch Society, and to say that we were to the right of everyone who lived around us would be an understatement. And it was a conspiracy driven household, very much so, because we knew what made the world tick and everybody else didn't. We pretty much felt that we had a corner on knowledge and information that no one else had. And as I got older, this led me to the phenomenon of embracing the right wing of the Republican Party and the belief that pretty much they were the only ones who could run the country, the only ones who should hold office, the only ones who should be in charge of anything, because the Democrats just flat out could not be trusted to govern. That basically Democrats were out to destroy the country. And here at my home, we had some issues in our local neighborhood, and it was election time. And I distinctly remember that I reached out to the Republican who was running for office and was like, I want you to come to my neighborhood and talk to us about what you're going to help with after you get elected. And I live in a racially diverse neighborhood. I wouldn't say it leans, honestly, back at that time, necessarily one party or the other, because local politics back then were not totally ideologically driven. There were members of both parties who lived on our block. So it was a mix. Probably leaned a little bit Democrat, but frankly, if you were a Republican running for office, you want to make sure you lock down those base votes. And couldn't get that person to show up. They would not come to our neighborhood and talk to us. So I don't know what made me do it, but I reached out to the Democratic candidate and he showed up almost instantly. Within a few days, he was here talking to us in our neighborhood about what he would do if he got elected and what he would help us with and what he thought he could do. And I had to accept that he was saying those things because he meant them. And when he got elected, he actually carried through on the things that he talked about. And that started me down this road, at least at the local level, at that point. Didn't believe about national, couldn't believe about that. But the local level, that maybe the Democrats in my local town, they really weren't out to destroy the town. They weren't out to destroy our city, our municipality, the place that we lived. That they were kind of like me. They were just citizens who wanted to make their world a better place. And as I grew older and became involved in a civic service-oriented organization, we would have dinners before meetings, and I'd be sitting with people who were Republicans and Democrats. And they were friendly with each other. They talked. They discussed. They broke bread. They had food. And I had gotten to this point where, and this is right around the time I asked that guy, I was so radicalized, I wouldn't go out for dinner with a Democrat. Wouldn't socialize with some of my neighbors because they were Democrats. And this is long before the current polarization of our politics. But here I was having dinner with all these people and talking about things and occasionally talking about politics and hearing other viewpoints. And I eventually had to accept that these people that I was working in this organization with, that we might have different viewpoints, but deep down in their hearts, they wanted the best for our country, for our state, and for our cities and towns that I did. That was a huge breakthrough for me. And so as I look at our polarized environment today, particularly with the conspiracy theories on the right, the MAGA philosophy of Trumpism. I understand why a lot of people in the Republican Party got on that bandwagon. Had Trump come along in my 20s, I probably would have been right on that bandwagon with him. But today, in my 50s, with a lot of life experience in relationships, I can't do that. But I will tell you this, is that all the people who are on that bandwagon, the rank and file people, not the leaders, but to those rank and file people, I actually believe I give you the goodwill that you're actually trying to make our nation and our world a better place. I would just ask that you give me that same goodwill and understand that I'm trying to do the same so that we can have a conversation. Anyway, that's what I think. Let me know what you think in the comments. Have a good day.